Email is an ongoing struggle for most of us. And if your inbox is overflowing with a lot of emails that waste your time, it can be really frustrating. In this video number 9 in our series of 10 on clearing your email, I'll give you 3 tips to reduce your email today on Tuesday Tech Training. Hello, and welcome to today's Tuesday Tech Training. My name is Jennifer Stewart. I'm the owner of Gateway Productivity, and I'm a tech and productivity trainer. We're nearing the end of our series of 10 videos on clearing your email. This is video number 9, and I'll be teaching you 3 tips to reduce email. Some of what I discuss may seem pretty self-explanatory, but to some of us, we just don't think of these things. These are 3 easy to implement tips that can reduce the amount of email you have coming in. Our 3 tips to reduce email will be around email etiquette and subject lines, newsletters, and watching for automatic opt-ins. First, let's talk about email etiquette. What I mean by this is not sending emails just because it's quick and convenient. If it's something that is going to be a long conversation, go ahead and pick up the phone. Or if it's something that really doesn't need to be said, why would you send the email and then clutter up someone else's inbox? And they should, over time, realize that you're not sending them those fluff emails, and maybe they will stop sending you those. And sometimes that can be a conversation that needs to happen, which leads to the next one, which is having a conversation with anyone you email frequently. Do they need that thank you email for confirmation that you received something? Or can you skip that? And do you need that? Have that conversation with people that you're emailing every day. Another good conversation to have is whether or not you need to be carbon copied, CC'd, or blind carbon copied, BCC'd on emails. This usually applies in a larger organization, but it can also apply if you're someone who tends to carbon copy yourself. Think about what things do you really need to carbon copy yourself on so that you don't have that flood of emails coming in. And lastly, let's talk about using your subject line. A lot of people don't realize that you can put whatever you want in that subject line, and you really should use it to convey what you need to have happen. So if there is an action that needs to be taken, if there's a deadline, and I usually recommend putting some kind of deadline in there when you would like to hear from them by, and be realistic about it. If you know that they're very busy or they're out of town or something like that, you can ask them to reply by a certain date. And that's a key thing. When you're putting a deadline in the subject line of an email, be sure to use the actual date, not a day. So for instance, use March 31st, not Thursday. The reason for this is some people aren't able to get to their email as frequently as others. So they may see something next week that says answer by Thursday, but really you needed them to get back to you this Thursday. By using actual dates, you clear up this confusion. And lastly, use the subject line as you see here for an FYI only. If you don't need a response at all, say no reply needed, FYI only, something like that, so that you help others with their inbox as well. And if you're a part of a team, have this conversation with them and have everyone do this so that we can be clearer in our email subject lines about what we need. Next, I'll talk briefly about newsletters. A lot of people feel like they have to be on all these newsletters for their job or their business, and that's just not true. Pick the ones that resonate with you, usually 2 to 3, the ones that resonate with you the most, and the ones that you gravitate towards reading. And read those for a while. If you find that you don't need those, then you can switch to something new. Don't overload yourself with having 10, 15 newsletters that come into your inbox constantly. Truly, you don't have time to read all of those anyway. And most of my clients will end up filtering their newsletters into a folder. And I tell them, if you find that you're not going to the folder to read them, then what good are they anyway? We usually go in and unsubscribe from those. Lastly, something to think about is the more newsletters that you're subscribed to, the more time is taken away from what really matters and the things that you really need to keep track of. Also, the more newsletters that are coming into your inbox, the harder it is to find the things that you really need. So the next time you consider signing up for a newsletter, think about how critical it really is to the way you do your job or run your business. The third tip is to watch for automatic opt-ins. Here I'm showing an example of when you're shopping online and you get to the place where you need to put in some information about yourself and you're ready to go to your shopping cart. Usually there is a box there. And oftentimes companies these days are starting to have it unchecked automatically, but you need to watch this. A lot of companies still automatically have that box checked that says, I would like to receive the latest news or marketing emails or your newsletter, all of those types of things. Don't just fly through the ordering page and go to the next. Make sure you look for this little checkbox and see whether it's checked or not, and go ahead and read it, because sometimes it's an opt-in, sometimes it's an opt-out. You need to know exactly what it says to know whether or not you want the box checked. So many people will go right by this and we end up on tons and tons of different lists. This is the proactive way to keep that from happening. This will probably be true just about anywhere where you need to give your email address and contact information, your name, things like that. You will probably see something that may put you on some kind of email list. And most of the time you have the option to opt out. One exception is typically if you're trying to get a free PDF or article or something like that from a website. Sometimes they're asking that if you're going to receive that free item, you automatically will be on their list. And that's kind of the trade-off. So those are the ones where you may not be able to opt out, but as soon as you receive emails, if you don't want to be on their list, you just wanted the free PDF, you can unsubscribe once you receive that first email. Choose your favorite email reducing tip from today and implement that right away. Have you had a light bulb moment from this training? If so, please let me know in the comments below. You can also put questions there and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. You can also give the video a thumbs up, or you can share it with someone you think could benefit from the information. And be sure to subscribe by clicking the red button below. Once you do that, you'll see a bell icon. If you click on the bell icon, you'll receive notifications each time new videos are posted. And if you're following along with our 10-part series, you may want to go ahead and click that bell icon. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.